Hey guys, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to rock a quick no-stir risotto. So here's the recipe I'm going to use. This is basically what it's going to look like, except we're going to take that and we're going to give it a bit of a spin, okay? I like to take the recipes that we enjoy over and over again and add a little kick. So we're going to add some variety, which is something that you'll be able to do once you get used to recipes being used over and over again. You'll add your own kick, the one that you like the best. So this one actually calls for chicken, sun-dried tomatoes, and spinach. We're going to move it from chicken to steak or whatever leftover beef you might have in your fridge. I didn't happen to have any beef in my fridge, so I'm actually cooking steak. We're going to use beef broth instead of chicken broth. We're going to add some mushrooms. We're going to use roasted red pepper instead of sun-dried tomatoes. And I have kale instead of spinach. No real reason other than the fact that I was out of spinach and had kale. So that's what we're going to rock today. Follow along. It'd be awesome if you can do this. This is a great one to do at home. It's going to be in the microwave once again. I think that the microwave one is a nice option for those nights that are really, really busy. So that's where we're going to go with this. So let's get moving on this and we'll get it going. So you can get on with your day and I can get on with mine. So I've got the rock crock here. It's heating up. I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter or a little more. We'll have to see how that works out. Okay. What I've got here is I've got an onion and a garlic. Actually, I got to show you my prep area here. This is where all the food is. So the biggest advantage in meal planning, one of them anyway, to get your meals on the go, is to take 10 minutes and set everything up. You need 1 cup of arborio rice, some Parmesan cheese, 3.5 cups of beef stock. Oops, I lost you there, sorry. 2 cups of kale, a small onion chopped up. We used our chopper for that. We did the chopper with the mushrooms, and we did the chopper with the roasted red peppers. One of these days I'll get the chopper while we're on camera. It just tends to be a little bit loud, and so I think it's probably a little daunting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add my onion, my mushrooms, and my garlic to the rock crock. So I had about half a pack of mushrooms left. You can use whichever quantity suits you, whatever's left in your fridge, or if you like lots of mushrooms, add lots of mushrooms. If you really like mushrooms, you can leave them whole. But for my house, everything has to be in small bites or else they'll pick it out. So we just chop. We chop it till it can be chopped no more, and then it fits nicely into the dish and they can't really find it and pick it out when they need to. So all I'm doing here is, hopefully you can see this fairly well, is we're going to just let this saute a little bit. I'm on a medium to high heat. Doesn't have to be super high. We're just going to give our onions a little bit of time. I'm going to add the garlic. Don't rest your spoon on the side of your rock crock because it gets hot and then the spoon gets really hot. I learned that the hard way. Just a little tip for you. So again, we're putting the garlic in unpeeled and squishing it all out. We've got our little, people have called this a little My Little Pony brush because it's got all the teeth and the little scooper. Gonna slide that off the side. Take out the skin, ever so easy. Move on to garlic number 2. Squeeze that guy with my left hand, pretty much useless. I'm a completely right-handed person, although I am being told that when people are watching the videos, it looks like I'm doing everything from the left. It's a little on the opposite side. It's kind of funny. Let's switch over to the right hand here. There we go. Gotta love the garlic. It gets put right into that rock crock, nice and good. Won't really matter because we're not using that again. I can do that when I clean it. So now I'm just continuing to saute those up. You're going to want to go until your onions get translucent. You know, a little bit, they're not quite so solid anymore, which these are just about at. Now I have 1 cup of this risotto rice or arborio rice. I don't really know the correct pronunciation. All I know is it's usually used for risotto, and it's really good. We're going to dump all of that in. And we're going to stir that up. You're not going to really brown it, but you're going to get it like soaked with the butter and to the point where it's just starting to brown. You don't want to walk away from the rock crock at this point, because basically the rice has sucked up all of the butter, and so now it's just sitting on the stone. And so it's a good time for it could burn if you walked away and tried to do something else. But while we're standing here, we used our grill press once again, and what I did grill was some steaks. So I've got 2 steaks here. I basically did 2 minutes on each side on our grill. And let me give this a quick stir so that what I just told you shouldn't happen doesn't happen. All right. 2 minutes on each side, and you've got some fantastic looking steaks. This grill press is a great option when you don't want to get outside and do your barbecue, whether it's raining or snowing or whatever. Some people are all-weather barbecuers, some people aren't. I'm more of I had 5 minutes to get it ready. Of course I love the barbecue and I have no problem using it year-round, but I'm trying to whip this up nice and quick so it's ready for when everybody gets home from school. So that's my time constraint, and that was quick and simple. I can clean this all up later on tonight, which is usually what happens. The kitchen stays exactly the way I leave you guys until after about 9 o'clock, and then it gets cleaned up. I'm sure your house is similar. There is no Martha Stewart living in this house. I'll just reassure you on that front. So now we've got the rice that's been sitting in there and the butter for a little bit with the onions, garlic, and mushrooms. 3.5 cups of chicken broth I'm going to pour in. It's going to be a little loud. That goes into there like that. Give that a quick stir. Going to add some pepper. Always good to have pepper. Don't really need any salt in this unless you really like salt, because the beef broth has some salt in it naturally. And this is where we're going to pause for a short moment, or we'll be able to prep some of the other items. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the lid on to my rock crock, and we're going to place it in the microwave. This being this little guy up here. Okay. Get some oven mitts. Because your rock crock is very, very hot at this point, because it's been on the stove and the heat will come right up to the handles, please always make sure that you're using oven mitts. Okay? So we're going to put the rock crock right in the oven. And then I am going to hit 15 minutes. Start. So basically we're going to let that cook for 15 minutes. What's going to happen is the rice is going to absorb all of the beef broth. We're going to be left with just the rice, and we're going to add in the other items at the end. So what we've got to add in at the end is the roasted red pepper, which will add a really nice flavor. That's kind of bright on you there. Sorry about that. We've got the kale, we've got the Parmesan, and we've got the steak. So the steak we're going to cut up. Once I make my workspace work for me again. As you are staring straight at me. So we've got our steak on the cutting board now. And all we're going to do is we're going to cut that up. So you've got it just slightly pink in the middle. If you don't want it that pink in the middle, our house really likes it nice and pink. We're going to continue to chop that right up. You can cook it a little bit longer if you like, okay? It all depends on what your house likes. We're going to keep the kale. The kale is going to be ready to go into the risotto. The Parmesan cheese is going to be ready to go into the risotto. And basically what's going to happen is once this comes out of the microwave, it's going to be very hot, and it's still going to be cooking a little bit because it's in a stone. It contains the heat. So all we're going to do literally is dump all of this in, add another tablespoon of butter, just for flavoring and ease of movement within the crock. Mix it all together, let it sit for about 5 minutes, excuse me, and then we're going to serve it. So you're not taking the flavor out of your roasted red pepper, it's actually going to put flavor into the food. A lot of times when you put things with chicken broth and rice, it's a little bit bland. But the flavor kicker here is actually your roasted red peppers. In the recipe previous with the chicken, the flavor kicker was the sun-dried tomatoes. And you think that these are things your kids might not eat, but in fact, when they add the flavor that they add, the kids don't even notice they're there. It's just a flavor add. It's fantastic. In this recipe, I might find that the kale doesn't soften as nice as the spinach does. We're going to find that out. So it might be a little tough. You may want to, I don't know if you'd want to add the kale in at this point. It might get too overcooked, but you may want to find that you either steam it or saute it ahead of time just to soften it up a little bit. We're going to play by ear and see how that works for us. If it's a little too tough, we'll just set it aside as they eat it. It's not a big deal. They're going to try to set aside the mushrooms anyway. But that's it. That's our no-stir risotto. So it's 15 minutes. Throw in everything else. Let it sit for a couple minutes while you set the table. And voila, you've got it. We're going to put it with a side of a salad, which the two salads we made yesterday, if you recall, one was a kale salad and one was a chicken Caesar salad. So they eat those two together. They've got a meal at 4 o'clock. You don't want anything too heavy. And then again, we'll regroup somewhere around 8 once everybody gets back. And we usually have another small meal, whether we have this continued or whip up something else. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't have anything in my head to spew off at the top of the moment. But one of the things that helps when you're trying to do these quick meals is the prep ahead of time. It's kind of along the lines of meal planning. We knew today we were doing a quick stir risotto. We knew what we were putting in it, but taking the time to set aside the ingredients, the 1 cup of rice, the half a cup of Parmesan cheese, the 2 cups of kale or spinach. That's huge because now it makes the meal fun. You're not quite running to and from your fridge all the time. You've got it all right here. It contains, everything is contained, and it's a quick throw in, and it makes your meal process go by so much easier. So we've talked a lot about meal planning and prepping in the kitchen to make life easier for you. I hope you go back and watch. Oh, we're back. Okay, sorry, we had a pause there. Go back and watch the other videos to get all of the tips. I really want to make mealtime easy for you. It shouldn't be stressful, and it can be easily just as easy as it looks on TV, right? Doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just a little bit of planning ahead, and there you go. Voila. So 15 minutes. This will be done. We'll add everything else in. I will come back after that point and show you everything. Hi, Megan. It's the first time I've actually seen a comment come through. That's pretty neat. Okay, so let's go from there, and we'll see you soon. Have a great time.